Do you wonder how to strengthen your marriage or make it happier or healthy? Well, if you do want to know, then stay tuned for my next video where I will be sharing 6 tips with you. All right, so first tip is respect. So I feel respect is really important in a marriage. What does respect look like? Well, it can be respecting each other by simply not name calling and or saying mean or derogatory words to one another. You need to remember to treat each other in a way that you would dream of being treated. Give each other your undivided attention. So that way when you're talking day to day, you guys are engaged with each other. Take an interest in your spouse and tell them how much you appreciate them, as this is something everyone needs to hear from time to time. Remember, respect isn't just how we talk to one another, it is also how we treat, encourage, and show an interest. Second tip is support. Number 2, like I said, is support. Allow your spouse to make choices in their life, whether it be for work or school, all those things. Because as a supportive partner, you need to be encouraging and supportive with their dreams. And also, it's good to be there for one another. Sometimes life can throw us obstacles, and it's just comforting to know that you will be there for each other. Make the time to show your support, whether it be career, personally, or just in life. Third tip is trust. Trusting each other is one of the keys to a happy and healthy marriage. So the question is, what does trust look like? Well, it requires honesty, the commitment you have to each other, showing respect, learning to adjust values to accommodate one another, keeping an open line of communication, and more importantly, creating an emotional safety blanket for each other. This is really good information that I actually found from a website called Loving at Your Best. You should feel safe and secure with one another. Fourth tip is communication. Listen, everyone argues in a marriage. It cannot always be roses, but proper communication is important to help lessen the amount of arguments. To improve communication, make sure you are truly listening. If you're in the midst of a conflict, try to keep your responses and tone in check as you are reacting based on emotion. Sometimes it is okay to say, let's take a break and come back to the discussion when you are in a better headspace. Make time to communicate. I know we are busy with our crazy lives, but if you don't make the time to connect, it is a recipe for a marriage that will not be thriving. 5 is do not nitpick or nag. It's okay to complain from time to time. Everyone does it. Even I do. But there is a difference when it becomes nagging or nitpicking. Think of it like your husband forgets to put the toilet seat down, which happens in my house a lot, or maybe forgetting to hang up his coat. If you do this all the time and you say it every day, it becomes a habit that I consider to be nitpicking or nagging. Other than these behaviors annoying you, ask yourself, is it really worth creating attention or negative energy? Save this banter for something more important or something bigger that is worth discussing. Just ask yourself next time, is this worth mentioning? You will then avoid less arguments, conflicts, and resentment. 6 is intimacy. The definition of intimacy. This is from Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Is the state of being intimate or something of a personal or private nature. Intimacy is important in a marriage as it provides a close bond. It's not just sexual, it's emotional and intellectual, where you can be vulnerable and have deep and meaningful conversations. You can add emotional or intellectual intimacy just by watching a movie, a documentary, or even attending a concert. This gives you an opportunity to discuss or connect on an emotional level. Physical intimacy is just as important. This can be even cuddling, affectionate touching, or, yes, the biggest one, sex. This allows you to feel a deep connection to one another. Well, here's a great question that people ask. Our schedules are too busy. How do we make the time? The answer to that is whenever you can. Everyone's day-to-day looks different. Take the initiative if you must. The guy does not always have to be the initiator. The more intimate you are and the more time you make for one another, the less tension and the happier and close feeling that you will have to each other. Make sure you do not compare your intimacy to someone else because every couple is different. Really hope those 6 tips have helped you today to get a more happier and healthier marriage. And so, like I always say, let's continue to empower, motivate, and support one another.